Good morning, my son. You should know we have terrible two large size of World War in our history. Yes, World War I and World War II. I think many people hate war, of course. But unfortunately, it happens sometimes in our history, or we have a hot topic of ongoing war. Today, I want to focus on how is the life under World War I, especially for eating. Here, quick knowledge: World War I started from 28th of July, 1914 up to 11th of November, 1918. So, namely, it lasts 4 years and 107 days. This long catastrophe was caused by one assassination in East Europe. This is famous assassination in the human history. Assassination of Franz Ferdinand von Habsburg, Austria. Eventually, World War I mobilized 70 million numbers of soldiers, amazing numbers. In here, I am going to describe what kind of circumstance they were staying during their battle. For example, many soldiers must stay in trench. Have you ever heard the name of trench? Nowadays, some gentlemen wear trench coat in winter season. I have one. And this name came from trench. So, concave on the ground to protect soldiers from any bombardments, charge of opposite side soldiers. Because still high technology weapons were not yet appeared, unlike today. They were forced to conduct quite old-fashioned style for the physical attack of each troop. Therefore, they are staying closely and looking for a chance to defeat other side. Sometimes, they have to be patient few weeks to few months to look for chance to attack enemy. They should dig trench to avoid physical attack of opponent. That kind of trench was muddy, wet, and cold, and bad smell. Of course, it did not have any shelter and roof as well. So, under rain, they will be fully wet, and moreover, toilet must be one of the problems. After heavy rain, all the urine and feces overflow onto the surroundings. Wow, awful. Can you imagine? Soldiers must stay under that kind of circumstance. After rain, all clothes and socks will be all soaking wet and start to be fly blown. I am not telling joke. Really such a disgusting environment. They call this leg as trench leg, and sometimes, soldier has to cut his that fly blown leg off in case. Extremely terrible, right? Emotional damage. In the war, many such terrible cases happen as routine. Under this circumstance, what kind of food soldier was eating, can you imagine? Most of them in the trench, they are eating canned corned beef, biscuit, bread, and tea. But, of course, each countries have their own style, own way. For example, French army, they provide water only for the beginning stage of the war. But late 1914, French started to provide red wine 250 milliliter per day for each soldiers. 1916, 500 milliliter, 1918, 750 milliliter to 1 liter per day. And special day, they could enjoy sparkling wine as well. On the other hand, British soldier enjoyed rum. British soldiers drunk it mixed with hot tea. Supply volume was 35 milliliter per day for each soldier. Of course, absolutely it is not enough for them at all. You may think that we do not need to give them alcohol if such a tiny volume. But you can imagine, they were in under extreme high stress. They do not know if they can survive today or not. Die or survive. His colleagues who staying next to him die today, just by the chance. Also, remember, his family might be in his hometown to wait him. So, drinking alcohol is one of his tiny methods for his own healing, release stress. Of course, some soldiers complain to their senior, it is not enough for him to enjoy drinking. Some military commander even reject to provide alcohol to his soldiers due to military self-discipline point of view. One serious problem was, since they did not produce particular container to deliver this kind of liquid distribution, they should put this liquid into old empty gasoline container. Therefore, most of them were polluted by remaining gasoline. Also, for example, British Army, their biscuit was very notorious because it was so hard to eat. Indeed, we have to put it into water or tea before eat. Otherwise, even it breaks your teeth. Such a nasty biscuit. And one more dubious reputation food in British Army is canned soup. Maconochie Army ration, famous, or notorious soup in the world. People said it is too bad tester and can kill people like a poison. In the label, they describe a rich delicious stew. In the recipe, they wrote 30 minutes to boil for eating. But Soldier did not have such time on the battlefield. Time to time, he had to eat without heating, although it is bad taste. However, it contained many undissolved fat, and people said, in order to eat this soup, I need medal. Or say, some awful black ingredient inside, but cannot identify what is this. Somebody called it, simply, trash. Indeed, after eat this soup, people produced many gas inside of their body and very stinky. People didn't expect the war lasts for so long in the beginning stage of World War I. But, gradually, each country starts to suffer serious shortage of their food supply. For example, in the Germany, they were relying on 1/3 of their food from import. Especially after UK blocked their sea lane. Scarcity of food getting more and more serious. And also, the workers, especially farmers, were gone due to conscription. In the war, they are not able to concentrate to do agriculture, such as manure, agricultural output drastically dropped. According to the research, 1915 to 1918 in Germany, 760,000 people has been starved to death. Especially in 1916 to 1917 winter season, serious starvation hit all over Germany. No wheat, so they mix potato to make bread, but eventually, even potato was insufficient, they should use turnip or root of turnip as a replacement. Since they were under the war, government put soldier as priority for the food rations. Therefore, in order to get ration, ordinary people, not in the battlefield, have to line up for rations station from very early morning. All the resources concentrate on purpose of conducting the war. And in Germany, many replacements have been invented. Instead of egg, corn or potato powder, I don't know how it works. Any remaining food, any parts of animals, including blood, they must eat. Also, they ate roots, colome of plants, and more terrible, drip charcoal water, mixed with coffee powder, etc. etc. On the other hand, scarcity of food in UK also serious. 1914, as rations, one soldier could enjoy 280 gram meat, and 220 gram vegetable per day. 1916, meat ration dropped up to 170 gram, and afterwards, ration of meat became once in 9 days. Situation became more and more serious for the time being. Such as, they utilize backyard of trench as vegetable field. If they did not have battle, they had to go for fishing. Also they had to go for shooting wild animals to catch and eat. Of course, it is danger to do hunting and it is really dead or alive game. But even under such circumstance, amazing things happened. 1914 Christmas, the Germany soldiers and UK soldiers who are facing at front line quit to fight and come out from trench. Then, they started to sing a Christmas song together. This is because the Pope proposed to both to quit battle. He said, "Now going to be Christmas, shall we stop the war and celebrate Christmas together?" Of course, each government rejected it as ridiculous, but soldiers on the battlefield followed the idea of Pope. First, German soldiers without any weapons approached to UK trench with saying that Merry Christmas. And although UK soldiers doubt if it is tricky attack or not, in first moment, but, eventually, they also came out from their trench, and shake hand with them. Then UK soldiers gave chocolate to German soldiers. And as a return, German soldiers gave cigarette to UK soldiers. Some of soldiers decorate nearby tree as Christmas tree with tiny ribbon. Some soldiers, they enjoyed to play football together for a while. Unfortunately, finally, they have to back to their trench for their routine life. However, I like this touching episode in Christmas. Touching story. Anyway, the war's still going on in somewhere of our world, but, my boy, please understand. All the time, we, ordinary people have to suffer difficulty rather than the great man, who is designing, planning, abusing the war. I think, we, human come to the stage to think about what is truth and what is not truth in our world.
As the journey continues.